Hey again, it's Todd, aka No Static, and per request, I've got my Rob Allen Deep 4 bass. I want to highlight a little bit more of the Mesa Subway DI pedal, and just to show a typical use that I would be using it for, I'm running it into a QSC K8 powered cabinet. So there's some gigs that I go to where I either can't or don't want to bring my bass rig. If I'm hauling a full PA system, then the last thing I want to do is haul more stuff. So sometimes I need to plug direct into a mixer. If I want to go really light, I'll just bring a powered cabinet and plug direct in. The problem is that I don't have EQ, if I have to deal with the room, if I want to tweak things. So the DI pedal really solves that. So let me show you a couple things. First, I'm running straight through, so I'm not using the preamp, and I'm essentially just plugging straight wire into the cabinet, and you'll get an idea of what it sounds like. And I'm miking this with my Octava MCO12 condenser mic. So that's straight in. Now what I'll do is turn that off, and then this is with the preamp pedal. And the first thing is that I don't have to crank the amp up nearly as much, and you'll notice I'm not even very high on the master on this, so I've got a lot more gain coming into the amp. Clipping this actually into the recorder, so you can hear a lot more fullness, a lot more articulation from the notes, and that's everything set flat. So I've looped my standard bass line here, and I'll just show you a couple of different things I didn't show on the D800 Plus. One is you've got a deep switch here. Not something you really need with this amp. Actually, when you turn the deep off, with this amp normally I would cut a little bit of the bass just to let the mid-range come through a little bit more. This is a piezo pickup system, it's got a ton of low end. So that's cutting the bass, and then I can really cut it down if I want something super thin. Treble, if I want to get some of that piezo clack or quack in there, I can crank that up. I normally don't need to, and in effect, you really want a preamp, and this has an onboard preamp, but I've got it set flat. You need a preamp with piezos to take that scratchiness out. The preamp on the bass helps with that. This helps even more because now I can tone shape it, and if I want to go more flat, I can do that. But then I've also got my voicing control. So actually I had that up a little bit. This is set completely flat. And that's up around noon. And then all the way up. Again, that's not a sound I'd use with this bass, but with other basses and in other situations it sounds pretty cool. Then high mid, or low mid, sorry. Again, with this amp, not something I would crank, and in fact, depending on the room, I might want to cut a little bit of low mids. Luckily, that's in a good frequency spot for me to sort of clean up this bass a little bit. However, the high mids I may want to add in with this bass, especially if I've used this on funk gigs of all things, and you really need some mid punchiness. The piezo gives a really quick attack, but you need that sort of mid initial note attack because this bass is mostly about bloom. So the high mid helps with some of that. And then if you do that and then you cut a little bit of bass, you can start to push the tone of this bass around. It still sounds like a Rob Allen. back to flat. So there you have it. The Rob Allen Deep 4, Mesa Subway DI pedal, and there you have it. No static. Hasta luego.